All right. So I know it's been a while. Just I've been very busy, especially around the house. My office is full of my kids' stuff because we did the floor in her room and we're doing some other stuff and just a lot of things going on. But I do want to come back to the app. Some things I want to try and tweak if I can. We'll see what's up, and then cover some kind of drawbacks to the way the app kind of works. Right. So let's get right into it. Okay. So for one thing, I really like the layer view query features because it kind of just queries all the data that's already in the map. Problem I had there is it doesn't have like the addresses like that. It also doesn't have the facility name in the outfields for the data when it's drawn, right? The only data needed to draw it is the oh my gosh, what were those fields called? Had to do with the amount of let me get the pop up here, a total stack release and total fugitive release, right? It only needs those two fields to render the data for symbology. So for efficiency's sake, those are the only two fields called, which is fine because it's a fairly good data set and stuff. And if it had the other attributes in it, it'd probably be a little slower to work with, which we only need for pop up. So that's why I've got to do the query on the layer and stuff. But if you notice, like I pan the map, I do a query based on the extent, pan again, do another query based on the extent. Those queries are not cached. Well, okay, I shouldn't say that. The browser's going to cache it, but they're not cacheable queries on the server because they're not feature tiled queries, right? I mean, what are the chances I'm going to pan to the exact same extent again and get that cached result? So I'm basically doing a brand new query every time. It's not the most efficient thing to do, but it kind of works. Also, every time I query, I redraw this entire thing based on the queries I'm getting here, which isn't really great. And I forget how many features are in here, but I am going to try something, and rather than me just do it, I could do it myself. I'm gonna see if Claude can do it, right? Or maybe Codex. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see who can do what. I'll try Claude first, and let's see if Claude can figure out what's going on here. All right. So I don't even know what model I'm using with Claude right now. Default Sonnet 5. Okay, that should be fine. Okay. So what am I going to tell Claude that I want to do? I want to. No, let me go over here. Do I need to tell Claude about FeatureLayer? Let's see here. Querying. I'm going to do not FeatureLayer view. I guess here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I want to query all the features in my layer without the geometries. I just want them for the list. And use this query to create the sidebar, Calcite List. Save the full list and display only the list items that are shown in the extent. We can use the object ID of the features to keep them in sync. You can refer to query, oh my gosh, logic of, oh my gosh. And I'm on my good keyboard here. You can further query logic of feature layer here. All right. Okay. I also want to tell it feature layer and other links, so it can like hopefully fetch some of the other links that are in here and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I got out of Vim here. I do have it running. We're gonna just let Claude do what it does. I'm letting Claude do it because Codex works great. I really like the way Codex works. But lately, and I don't know about this week, but lately, like just it eats up my credits for the week like super fast. I had it do something for me like a couple weeks ago. I was playing around with an app where I had a server API to do some stuff, and I had a client app, and I wanted to move the code for the server API into like a little mono repo with the client app. Not difficult to do. Something I could have just done, but I was playing around and wanted Claude to try it out, or Codex, and just doing that alone, moving files, copying files, or ate up like my 99% of my weekly credit in Codex. So I don't know if I need to change my model or something. I was using the default, but yeah. Hopefully they fixed it. There were a lot of people complaining about Codex just eating things up, so we'll find out and see how this works. So I'll come back once Claude has gone through and done some stuff. It is trying to query the layer view still, I think. To get all features, you need to query the feature layer, not the layer view. Let me find query here. Properties. Layer view. You may need to do multiple queries. Refer to query dot none. Claude wants me to install a Claude Chrome extension. I don't. I'll do that later. I will not do that at this time, though. All right. So Claude did its thing. Let's see, what did it do? So, summary of changes. Added find TRI layer map helper shared by app and selection logic. All right. Drop this feature graphic field, blah, blah, blah. Asyncs the key. Okay. All right. Okay. So, it did for 5 minutes. Let me check some stuff out. No errors. That's good. Okay. So, get object ID of features, blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's doing everything it was doing before. Perfect. 2,000 per page size query limit. A lot of queries it's got to do up front, right? So, okay. I'm gonna have it do something else right now. In a second. Okay, so then when I say right, so here we go. So now we say we get the TRI layer. We have a layer view here. For visible layers. Okay, so this one should be layer view. I'm gonna try this. See if this works. It may not work. It may not work. Let's try this real quick. Is this async? Yeah, this is async. Right? Yeah, it is. So I'm gonna say await React utils once. All right, so it takes a while for it to load. I mean, it's unfortunate that it takes that long to load, but if I do this, pan the map, right? I do. I jacked something up. Okay, so 341 sites. Okay, that's actually working pretty good. A little bit more sites. There we go. See, now it's cracking here. Let's come back here. I don't like what Claude did here. So, okay. Did I not like that? Maybe I didn't like that. Me messing around, me messing around. Let's see. Okay, we're going to try some stuff with Claude. All right. I'll stop the dev server. I guess it has a dev server running. Okay, let's do that. It's got its own dev server. Yeah, it has its own dev server going. So I need to stop that. The things that suck with Claude, well, not necessarily just Claude, but I think anyone like Codex, Claude, stuff like that, is they a lot of times will run like pm dev or npm run dev, something like that, and you have to actually go like into your activity for your machine, like Mac or Linux, and kill the instance of Node or whatever running for that one, unless you have to stop the server that's trying to use, right? So you gotta tell it to do stuff like that. So okay, now what I want to do is I want to tell it to store the results of the initial query for all features in local storage and use those results if available when the app loads instead of doing another query. It should only be the data to render the list and not the geometry. To be sure, it's not geometry, but I want to be sure that I do this right. So tell it what I want to do. My dog's going nuts down there. Animals, all kinds of animals in my house. I got dogs, got cats. There's fish in a couple of these rooms. Not my fish, but there's fish. Now I wonder if I could tell it to only render the list items that could be visible in the viewport. Okay. Some kind of like virtualization. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Notice too, it's adding tests for me, right? As I'm playing around with the code here, it's just adding tests, which is kind of nice. When you use an LLM like that, and you've I had to add like a couple simple little tests, not a lot, but once you've established that there are tests in your application, these agents are automatically going to go ahead and go, oh, okay, I need to start adding tests to it. You also probably do that in your agents MD. Tell it, hey, for all new features you add, make sure you add a test to back it up, and it'll kind of take care of that for you. So, okay, let's see what it does here. So, added load cache, TRI sites, save, TRI sites, back. Okay, all right, cool. So if I make this bigger, so the initial load should take a little bit. All right, this one, I think. So it's gonna take a while. It kind of sucks, but hey, takes a while. Okay, perfect. So it's loaded. All right, now if I do another load, hopefully it should not take that long. Did not take that long, right? That was a lot quicker to render these here. Now I'm going to tell it, see if I can do some virtualization for me, because that really kind of kills the app. I've got 5,000 features in this extent, right? Roughly. Yeah, about 5,000 features in this extent. I'm rendering 5,000 list items here, and you can only see what, a couple dozen, maybe? I can't count. You can only see a few, not a lot at all. So what's the point of rendering so many if I'm not going to show them, right? So okay, we're gonna play with this too. Okay, so now I'm gonna do is what am I gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna tell it the promise. Okay. I am rendering more list items than are visible. For example, uh, I am rendering 5,000 items when I can only see 12. Can we add some virtualization to the Calcite List to only render a few more? I don't want to tell it to only render items in the viewport because it might be short. I don't know what it's going to do. Render a few items more than what's in the viewport and render more as I scroll up. Come on, you can do it. Now, Calcite List itself doesn't have virtualization like that, so you gotta kind of like build your own. And I've done virtualization before, not with Calcite List, but it's like with regular like div, and then like a list, unordered list items. I mean, I've done that before, but never done with Calcite List. I mean, the concept's the same, right? Should work the same. Claude pulled a me, man. Look at this. It's taking too long via static analysis. Let me just write the implementation and let TypeScript tell me what's actually typed correctly. You know, a lot of times when I'm working, I like really like sitting down, thinking about a problem, putting notes down and things like that. And I'm like, okay, these are things I need to handle and stuff. I'm thinking. I'm like, you know what? I just need to write it. I just need to write the code and then come back to it and let's see what works. Let's see what doesn't, right? I made a small viewport. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12. It limited to 12. It was about 12 things showing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. I'll tell it to fix that right now. How about maybe 25, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. So it looks like limit is 12 items. We can increase that to 25 or 25 items. Let's do that. Let's do that. Yeah, 25 is fine. Should be good. Yeah, it keeps complaining. It wants me to put that Claude extension in Chrome. It's like, oh, look at this. Good, both pass. Let's actually run it and check for runtime errors. And since I don't have interactive browser tooling, hint, hint, at least confirm via console output and DOM node counts to the dev server logs. Well, you know what you could do if you don't have interactive browser tooling? You could use Playwright. And I've seen uh, LLMs use Playwright to just do interactive work with the browser. Maybe I need to specify that to install Playwright and tell it to use Playwright to interact with the browser. Maybe I have to add that to my agent's MD file. Well, that's another time. I don't think it's critical right now, but yeah, just so you know, Claude apparently wants you to install an extension, which might be fine. I haven't tried it yet. I should give it a shot. Maybe it's kind of cool, does some fun stuff, so we'll see. Did you 125? That was pretty quick. Oh, 0 sites at current extent. Okay. Okay. That's okay, come on, man. That is pretty fast. Look at that. Look at the improvement in just stuff here. Okay, now if I click this one, pop-ups. Where's my? Is it behind my chart? There it is. It's not opening my pop-up though. I have to keep the pop-up open in order for it to work right. Huh, I don't like that. It's all right. Okay. Okay, so okay, now it's adding some math in here. So it has a visible count here. Invisible items. Okay. I don't know why I had only 12. It's kind of weird before. Item height. Estimate item height 56. Virtual overscan. Okay. All right. Things are working. Things are working solid. So this was a key thing for me here. All right. So okay, we're gonna refresh the page. It's coming up pretty quick. Okay. Cool. 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 Our 5,000 items. All right. I can go through here. Oh, oh, that is pretty fast. Okay. There we go. There we go. Nice. It's a lot of items in here. Let's zoom too. There you are. Now we have more. Zoom again. We got a few more. Okay, so now we've got a little bit better here. Why does my pop-up move? That's a weird one. I gotta figure that one out at some point. But it's okay. It's okay. So here we go. So it added a hook for the list items by scroll position, measures the rendered row height, falling back to 56 pixels if it can't, no, doesn't get it. Tracks the client height, scroll top, okay. Move text filtering out of Calcite List. Oh, interesting. Won't filter it, which you only see whatever Calcite List are currently mounted. Ah, okay, that's interesting. I didn't think about doing that. So this will actually filter the whole list, not just what's visible here. I guess it's interesting. That's cool. It's more of a search than it is the Calcite filter, right? So it's kind of a different tool at that point, which is cool. I kind of dig that. I didn't really think about that, but okay. Select the society state, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I don't know if I told it to do. Let me see code. Let me see some code. App TSX, query features. What is that? It's a weird 4. Oh, this is the yeah, the query page size. Okay. I was like, man, I haven't seen a for loop like that in ages, but just the doesn't have the index or anything in there. Oh man, talk about old school. Jeez. Okay, so okay, so that's different. That's the page size. Query all features, create query. This query features here. No, that's page size. That's the extent. Here we go. Query all features. No, this is the thing, the query features. Query object IDs. Wonder, can I do this? Do. I'm gonna try this. Yes, it works. Okay, so now instead of querying the feature layer object IDs with this query that I created here, right, with the extent, so that I can filter the list, now I'm doing a LayerView query, right? Oh, yes. Now I've definitely improved the performance of this app. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. I still showing the old location of the pop-up. Let's see. Pop-up. Huh. Is that in the other ArcGIS selection site? No, not this one. They're over here. Pop-up. Open. I need the location. Okay. I need the location to come back for something. Okay. Feature. Okay, here we're good to go. I'm gonna say pop-up dot location. Local. What are you talking about? Ew, not as Esri point. There's somewhere Esri point. As point. There we go. Now it should work. Okay, let's do this. Now I should do it right. Okay. Knew something was up with that. Actually, no, I don't even. Why is it doing this? Okay, here. Okay. I mean, this should work. I mean, this is one way to do it. This is not what I would recommend to do, because the element has a open pop-up thing, right? So here's what I would do. I would say, ready map, view element, open pop-up. Comment this out. And let me see if it still works. Should still work. I should not need to reference the pop-up element directly in my map. Not for this case. I mean, it doesn't mean you can't. But for this use case, no, we have a method right here. Okay, yeah, that works great. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so now I'm going to tell Claude is that, hey, okay, I made some changes to TRI selection. Yes. Can you update? Actually, I mean, no, what am I doing? Why am I going to tell it to do that, right? PNPM test. Okay, so something failed. See, because in the test is an open pop-up. Okay, so I need to tell it, hey, I made some changes to how the pop-up opens in TRI site selection. Update test to reflect changes. Now, see, now this is me working with the AI agent, telling it, hey, I did some work here, man. I need you to go and update the test for me because, you know, that's how I do things. I could update the test myself, but come on, man. I gotta write a bunch of code, test code. Probably should, but we are here to part of what I wanted to do in this these videos is to show you how you can use AI to do some cool stuff, right? And one of those things is write test. All right, I think it's doing its thing. Oh, okay, let's go. Do it again. Bam, everything passes. Cool. All right. That was neat. Okay, so we did quite a bit of this video. One thing is we went over some of the issues with the way this kind of querying and stuff, the kind of performance impacts I had before these weren't really cached queries, not necessarily because they weren't tile caches that we were doing, just extent caches. Extent queries are not cacheable in the server. right? When you do stuff like that. So really what you should be trying to do is query your data for what you need, right? Kind of like my case is kind of dumb. I'm querying like some ridiculous amount of TRI facilities and just caching the results for that query without geometry, so I can make a list on the side. Very ridiculous of me. And I was doing a query to the layer directly, the service directly, every time I did the extent. Not ideal. Not something that I would recommend you do in your own apps, right? There's a reason we have the layer view and that we've got client-side queries you can do some cool stuff with. Take advantage of that. And the object IDs can link things for you. So maybe do query the layer view for your object IDs, and then maybe you've got some features somewhere else in your application that you can sync via the object ID that you've already done some queries on, that kind of thing. Now, it's not saying you can always do it, because sometimes you're probably going to have to go to the layer to do some queries and stuff like that because of some fields that aren't available for you directly in the layer view, because we talked about it only has the fields needed to draw the actual features on the map. But you can work around it. You saw me do that here, and I took advantage using Claude to do that for myself, right? Which is really kind of cool. I'll put this app up with the tests that Claude created for me, so you can check those out and see kind of how they work. But testing is pretty solid here. I'd actually recommend putting in maybe a Playwright for your testing as well, so you can do some kind of interactive test. You don't have to rely on Claude needing an extension in Chrome to do some things. Shouldn't be necessary at all, because Copilot and Codex can use Playwright to do some interactivity with your browser and everything else, right? So yeah, I want to cover all that for you guys and show you how you can go from how do we start this thing. I took some data that I downloaded from a gov site of toxic release inventory sites. I uploaded that data into ArcGIS Online, created my layer for it, and I created a web map. I rendered it, did all the symbology for it. I defined the pop-up for it, consumed that in my app, and then I used a couple of AI agents to kind of help me refine the application and do some really cool things with it, right? Which they did a pretty good job. And I could have done all this on my own. I probably would have done things a little bit differently. I don't think I would have done that weird little for loop it did. I probably would have done like a do well or something like that. Little thing, but it's cool. I'm not going to mind it, right? But yeah, there's tons of stuff you can do. So that's my recommendation: is experiment, try things out, have some fun with it. The virtualization that it did was actually pretty cool. I kind of really dug that, man. I'm going to play around with that some more. But yeah, have fun with it. Try things out. And, if you have any questions, please leave comments down below. Don't forget to drop any other comments, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.